In my prior video, I reviewed our first 7 months of towing with our Tesla Model S and how well it has worked for us. In today's video, I'm going to show the first trip that we took in our Tesla towing our boat down to Utah Lake. We are going to take the boat out for the first time being towed by the Tesla. First, what I need to do is come up here to the front and pull out our receiver. We keep the towing receiver right here, and then I also got a socket here. This is a 15/16 socket that I keep in here just for convenience sake. This is the hole that has the receiver in it right there. You take the receiver, which I got one here that has a pretty good rise on it. Push that up until the pins line up. Put that on. There we go. To make this easier, I put this chain extension on, and then I can loop my chain on there for the trailer. And then I had to bunch up the ends of the chain so they don't drag on the ground. And that's how close it is for how I have this right now. I may adjust it shorter later. And then here I need to hook up the trailer wiring. So here's the cable that I've installed in my car. Just gonna plug it in like that. And then I want to make sure that there's excess here. And then we'll just close this. Right. That looks about good there. It's hooked up and we're ready to go. I have the rear view camera pulled up here and you can see it through the camera pretty well. And there's the boat. So let's get going. Right now Jessica is practicing backing the boat so that when we get to the ramp and she gets the trailer at the end, that she'll be able to back down the ramp. The level of the trailer is just about perfect, so the rise on that trailer hitch is just about perfect. We're cruising down the freeway now, and you can see that the autopilot works just fine. We're at 85% and it's 85 degrees outside. And looking over here, this is the power graph. This first spike here is pretty much all the driving that we've done so far with the trailer behind us. So it's definitely pulling more power, but it's not too bad. And then we can also pull up the camera, and we can just look at the trailer while we drive just to keep tabs on it. The drive down took 40 minutes and consumed 22% of our battery over those 35 miles. The extra drag from pulling the boat resulted in 485 watt-hours per mile, or 17 kilowatt-hours. Our car is rated to consume 300 watt-hours per mile, so this means our efficiency was about 62%. For what it's worth, most of this distance was driving on the freeway at 70 miles per hour, and our efficiency is typically about 85% at that speed. The biggest factor for efficiency when towing is actually the wind resistance rather than the weight. This boat is rather light for what it is worth, though. When it comes to wind, though, it's actually pretty aerodynamic as well, and I'll be doing another drive later where I keep the cover on the boat and test to see if that affects the range overly much. If you're interested in seeing that video when I release it, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you turn on your notifications and change that bell to all so that you'll get notified automatically when I upload that video. I have seen stories from other Tesla drivers that are towing, typically with the Model X, and they often report seeing about a 50% range reduction, meaning they get about half of what they would normally get. So for what it's worth, I think we did pretty well on this trip, not actually losing a whole lot of our range compared to others that tow. And I'm sure I'll get additional experience as I continue to take the boat and tow it to other places in our area. I have driven on this route out to the lake many times, but I had actually never driven out there before while flying my quadcopter, and I was really surprised at how beautiful it is out here from the perspective of the air looking down. It just has this beautiful farmland patchwork quilt look to it, and with the backdrop of the mountains and all the green contrast, it's just really strikingly beautiful. As we approached West Mountain, you'll notice that there's a portion of it that is black, and that is because just the day or two prior, there actually had been some fires up there. There's actually a road that goes all the way to the top of that mountain, which I've gone up a couple of times, once on my motorcycle, another time in my RAV4 back in the day years ago, and the view from up there is quite spectacular. When I've driven up there, we typically go up to where those antennas are there on the top of the mountain. Also here on the side of the mountain are a bunch of orchards, which are just beautiful to look at from the drone as it flies over. When we arrived at the boat ramp, we first pulled over to the side to get the boat ready, take off the straps, and get everything situated. And then we positioned the Tesla and I backed it down the ramp. Luckily this ramp is relatively short and shallow, so it wasn't terribly difficult to back down it, and it was not terribly crowded. After getting the boat off of the trailer, Jessica then went and parked our Model S. Then I went to the dock and Jessica met me there. This whole outing was really a trial run just to verify the towing capabilities of the Tesla and also to get the boat out for the first time of the year. So we weren't really trying to be out there for terribly long, but we still had some fun tooting around. We are out here on Utah Lake. So the Tesla works to pull our boat to the lake, at least this lake. The power consumption was definitely high. I think it was averaging around 420 or so, 430 watt hours per mile. It's rated for 300 watt hours per mile, so that's obviously a bit higher. But you know, for closer places, it definitely works great. And so we're out here boating on the lake, and then we're going to, in a few minutes, go pull it back up on the trailer and see how that goes. I'm sure it'll go fine. The back of the Tesla, the bumper just barely touched the water a little bit. We had raised the air suspension to very high to give us more clearance, and so we'll do that again on the way back. We had to back the car into the water more this time to get it back out, but it worked great. We're back on the road. We successfully got the boat out of the water. No problems, just like any other vehicle really. It was a fairly shallow ramp, not very steep, but we have all-wheel drive and we would have had no problem on a steep ramp anyway. The back bumper of the car went into the water a little bit to get the trailer deep enough so the boat could get up on the trailer, but only just a little bit, and definitely not enough to be a problem. So I would say this is a great success to be able to pull the boat with our Tesla. In my next video, I'm going to show where we pulled the boat with our Tesla to Deer Creek Reservoir, which is about the same distance as this video today, but it's in a different direction up Provo Canyon. And on this trip, we include the cover on the boat to just see how that affects the power consumption. If you are interested in seeing how well our Tesla performed on that particular trip, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.